most common questions I get asked on YouTube is how I sharpen my knives. So guys, in my case, I have a whole bunch of knives, and I have certain ones that I use for certain things. So these ones here in my right hand, these are mostly for vegetables. Whereas these ones here I use for all my meats, so they're the more sharper ones. So in my case, when I go to sharpen, I do all the sharpening myself. I don't get anyone else to come do it. I find that a lot of them that come, they're like the mobile ones, they take too much of the blade off, and eventually the knife will be useless. So I'll show you my way of doing it. So guys, obviously every time I start in the kitchen for the day, so if I'm chopping meats, vegetables, whatever, I'll always have a diamond rod and I'll sharpen my knives beforehand. Now this is very important because what you're doing is making sure the blade is nice and thin and sharp and there's no burrs anywhere. So that's very important. So that's why there's diamonds on here. So look, in slow motion, all you're doing is dragging the knife down and making sure the entire blade runs along like that. When you're holding this, make sure you put your thumb here. That way, if the knife goes too down, it's not going to chop your finger off. Now, especially when you start to go really fast like this, then you're well protected. So guys, in my case, once every fortnight, I'll sharpen the knives professionally myself. So I'll show you my setup for doing that. So in my case, I use an electric 2-wheel grinder, which is for knives. So you've got 2 slots on each side, so the left, right, and that's coarse and that's fine. So you start off with the coarse and then move on to the fine. Now this is very similar to the bigger ones that you can get at Home Depot shops, and that's a lot of the ones that mobile sharpeners will use as well. But as I said, they take too much of the blade off and they charge too much for it. So I like to do it all by myself, and I like to put extra care into it. So we'll go ahead and switch the machine on. And we'll start from the left side. Just like that, and slowly. Just like that. So guys, make sure you go all the way until this point, so you get a sharp edge all along. Now we'll do the other side. And there we have it. You can already see the blade has gotten a bit sharper. So what we'll do now is go move on to the fine side. And there we have it, guys. So look at that beautiful blade. So if your knife is really dull, the idea is just repeat it a few more times. But if you're doing it once a week, then that's all. And that blade is perfect and much safer to use now as well. As you may not know, dull knives are much more dangerous. So make sure you wash it before use, because as you can see, there's metal residue coming off it. So that needs to be washed before use. Okay, and all I'll do is repeat that with all my knives. And I'll usually do this in a quiet period where there's no customers in the restaurant, or else the sound is annoying. Okay, and there we have it. That's all my knives sharpened and ready for use for another week or two. And then we'll repeat it again in another 2 weeks' time. Because that machine there cost me about $20. I've been using the same one for at least 10 years now. So that's pretty handy. Now, if you're more of a home chef, you can get these ones here. This is just a manual system, but it replicates the same thing. So this one here I got for $10, believe it or not. So you got 3 stages for the knife there. And this one here is a ceramic for sharpening scissors. Now, in my case, I have commercial scissors here. I've never sharpened them because I don't use them as much, but they'll come in handy for that. So that's all there is to it. So you don't need to pay anyone to come sharpen your knives. There's one guy here in Sydney, he charges $10 for each knife. Now, I've just sharpened 8 knives, so imagine paying $80 and, you know, I can do it myself. So that's a bit of a joke. So guys, do it yourself and save that money, put it towards something else, buy a new appliance or something else that you could use in your kitchen. So guys, now to check the sharpness of your knife, grab a tomato, make sure it's nice and ripe. And you want to get your blade and just carefully slice along like that. And you should nice and easily go through, just like that. Be careful not to chop your finger off. I've done this a lot, so I'm used to it. And just look at that. So you got all separate layers there, and that's how we determine that it's sharp. If not, you can just dice it on the chopping board. So we'll grab our tomatoes and just slice away. If you can get nice thin slices like that, that means your knife is nice and sharp. Now, as an example, I'll get a fresh tomato for this. Here's one of the knives that I didn't sharpen. See, I'm slicing and it's going through but very slowly. That's too slow. Now what can happen is this knife can slip in any direction, cut my finger off, cut one of my stuff's fingers off, anything can happen. So guys, make sure you're sharpening your knives. Now, as I said, for this device here, you can get these on eBay, you can get them on Amazon. I luckily found this in a supermarket here in Australia. And as for these are just a very generic product. As I said, $10 guys. It's a good thing to have. Sharpen your knives yourself, sharpen your scissors as well. So guys, that's it for this video. Just make sure before and after each use, get your diamond rod and make sure your knife is nice and sharp, just like that. That way, there'll be no accidents and you'll be much more efficient in the kitchen. So guys, as always, please like, share and subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram and TikTok. If you want to see more videos like this or have any other suggestions, let me know in the comments and I'll see you all next time.